So from the play-in to on the way out, Doc Rivers is out as the head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. The team announced on Monday. The Bucks went 97-103 during Rivers' 3 seasons in Milwaukee, with 2 first-round playoff exits and missing the postseason and play-in tournament this year. Milwaukee will now embark on their 3rd head coaching search in 3 years. Shams, what's next for Doc and for the Bucks?
So Doc Rivers will be paid out on his 8-figure salary for next season. That was the last year of his deal. And then the sides are still discussing whether he's going to stay on in an advisory capacity. And injuries, no doubt, doomed Doc Rivers' tenure there, from Damian Lillard, Giannis in 2024 and 2025. Then Giannis only played 36 games. But a dozen current team sources tell me that there was season-long tension and disconnect between the players there and Doc Rivers. And now they're going to be on their 4th new head coach in the last 3 years. Mike Budenholzer, Adrian Griffin, Doc Rivers, and now a new hire. So this just starts a summer of change in Milwaukee. We also know the Giannis Antetokounmpo conversations will start to pick up as well.
No question. Perk, how would you describe the Doc era in Milwaukee?
I would rather talk about Doc overall. Doc about to get a jacket, a Hall of Fame jacket. I can't help it that the players in the locker room were soft. Doc is 6th all-time in wins in NBA history, 4th in the postseason. You can talk about, look at the list. I mean, people lie, numbers don't. And when it comes to Doc Rivers, my relationship with him is a brotherhood. And Danny, you know this, when it comes to him, when you win a championship with somebody, it's to the casket closed and the gates of heaven open, man. That's how much I'm a ride with Doc Rivers. So, again, I know what he done when I played for him for 7.5 years. I know what kind of coach he was. I know what kind of motivator he was. And things have changed. You know, when you talk about coaching in this era of the NBA, we watched Greg Popovich. He had to change. He had to adjust. We watched Rick Carlisle. He had to change. He had to adjust. And let's just call a spade. A heart is a heart. These players are soft now. Like, if you don't have the
mental capacity.
Yeah, man, it's just different. So again, Doc Rivers, Hall of Famer, enjoy that part of it. Like, I feel like him and the Bucks, the front office, are still in a great place, because if not, Shams just reported they still discussing some type of role in the organization.
Right. Yeah, tough role for Doc, but he is a great coach. This was a tough stint, said, due to the situation. He said coming in, like, it wouldn't give this job to anybody. But, you know, he's a great.
The Milwaukee Bucks have fired Doc Rivers. Let that sink in. 3rd head coach in 3 years. Mike Budenholzer. Adrian Griffin. Doc Rivers. And now they're about to hire a 4th. Shams Charania dropped the details on NBA Today, and I need to break down every single word because this is not just about document. This is about Giannis Antetokounmpo. First, the numbers. Doc Rivers went 97-103 in Milwaukee. 3 seasons. 2 first-round playoff exits. And this year? They missed the postseason entirely. Didn't even make the play-in tournament. A team with Giannis Antetokounmpo. A 2-time MVP. A Finals MVP. A champion. And they're sitting at home in April. That's not just disappointing. That's catastrophic. Shams reported that Doc will be paid out his 8-figure salary for next season. That was the last year of his deal. And the sides are still discussing whether he'll stay on in an advisory capacity. But here's the real story. Shams said, and I quote, "A dozen current team sources tell me there was season-long tension and disconnect between the players there and Doc Rivers." Season-long. Not just a few games. Not just one incident. The entire season. The players tuned him out. They stopped listening. And when that happens to a coach who is 6th all-time in wins, 4th all-time in postseason wins, a future Hall of Famer, that tells you the situation was broken beyond repair. Now let me bring in Kendrick Perkins, because he went off on this. Perk played for Doc for 7.5 years. Won a championship with him in Boston. And Perk said something that a lot of people won't say. He said, I can't help it that the players in the locker room were soft. He said, people lie, numbers don't. Doc is 6th all-time in wins. And then Perk dropped the truth. When you win a championship with somebody, it's to the casket closed and the gates of heaven open. That's loyalty. That's brotherhood. But then Perk also admitted that the game has changed. He said Greg Popovich had to change. Rick Carlisle had to change. And Doc didn't. Or couldn't. Or the players are just different now. Perk called them soft. And you know what? He might be right. Because when you have a Hall of Fame coach and a 2-time MVP and you can't even make the play-in, something is wrong with the players too. But here's where it gets really interesting. Shams said the Giannis conversations will start to pick up. And Danny Green, who also played with Giannis, said something that should scare every Bucks fan. He said, this marriage needs a divorce. It's time for him to move on, get some fresh air, go somewhere new. Danny pointed out that the Bucks haven't been playing Giannis. They shut him down. And why? To protect their trade asset. To keep him healthy so they can get maximum value in a trade. Let me repeat that. The Milwaukee Bucks are not playing their franchise player to protect his trade value. That's not a team building around a superstar. That's a team preparing to move on. And then you have the quote from Giannis himself. When asked if he's played his last game in a Bucks uniform, he said, that's a very good question. I don't know. It's not up to me. We'll see. If everything goes well, hopefully the Bucks want me here. Why not? But if they don't, okay. That's not a commitment. That's a man with one foot out the door. Danny Green said Giannis is trolling. He likes to mess with the media. He likes to mess with the organization. But here's the thing. Behind the scenes, Shams reported that everyone has been very clear. Giannis, his camp, the Bucks have known since last May that he felt like it was time to part ways. Since last May. That's almost a year ago. And at the trade deadline in February, the Bucks engaged in conversations with multiple teams. They negotiated. They were ready to move him. So this isn't speculation. This is happening. Now, where does Giannis go? That's the billion-dollar question. He wants to compete for a championship. Doc Rivers was quoted the other day saying, this team doesn't have the players to do so. So Giannis knows Milwaukee isn't the answer anymore. The teams that could trade for him. Miami has been linked forever. The Heat have the assets, the culture, the need for a superstar. The Knicks have draft picks and young players. They've been saving for a moment like this. The Warriors? Imagine Giannis next to Steph Curry. That's a dynasty. The Thunder have more picks than they know what to do with. They could are a historic package. And then there's the dark horse. The Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic and Giannis. That's unfair. But here's the problem. Any team that trades for Giannis has to give up a ton. Multiple first-round picks. Young players. Salary filler. And then they have to pay him. He's got a supermax extension coming. So you're not just trading for 1 year of Giannis. You're trading for 5 years of a $60 million per year player. That's a commitment. That's a risk. But for a contender? For a team that's one piece away? You make that trade every single time. Alright, let me wrap this up with some questions for you. And I want you to destroy the comments. 1. Should the Bucks trade Giannis this offseason or try one more time with a new coach? 2. Where does Giannis end up, Miami, New York, Golden State, or somewhere else? 3. Is Doc Rivers a Hall of Fame coach who got unlucky with injuries and soft players, or is he overrated? 4. Who is the best trade package for Giannis, the Thunder with their picks, the Heat with their culture, or the Warriors with their championship pedigree? Drop your takes. The best ones I read next video. Smash like if you think Giannis is gone. Hit subscribe if you believe he stays in Milwaukee. And comment your Giannis trade destination right now. Let's go.